Hi, my name is Teddy, and I'm going to be teaching you how to play Butch by Saint Motel on the ukulele. I actually wrote the tab that's up on Ultimate Guitar, so I wrote this tab myself. It's not perfect, it simplifies some chords, but it should get the idea across. I would say the tab is about a novice level, so if you're not a huge ukulele player, I think you probably could still get this. Hang in with me. I'll take you through all the steps. There are only a few chords we need to learn this song, so I'll take you through these right now, and then I'll go into the strumming pattern and how it all fits together. So first off, you're going to need to know how to play a D chord. So a D chord, I'll put that up on the screen right here. But yeah, you just hold down that. Other chords you're going to need to know. You're going to need to know G chord. G chord is a little bit more complicated. I put my third finger on the first string, fourth finger on the second string, and second finger on the third string. And there's your G chord. So then the other chords you're going to need are variations on those chords. You're going to have your D chord, then you're going to have your A7, which is just one right there. I'll put that right up right there. So when you go from D, you can go to A7, and then you're going to have your G, and you're going to have your G6, which is just the G chord minus the middle string, right? So mostly the song is the D and the G chord, which G chord is the most complicated chord in this tab. But then your other chords are going to be your A7 and your G6. So for the strumming pattern, I try to imitate what they do in the song, which goes do 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 do. So I end up strumming like this. So I'll put the little arrows for what that strumming pattern looks like exactly. It goes down, 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 and up, and, right? So that's the strumming pattern for most of the song, except for a few parts where you're just going to be strumming down, 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 and that is in line with the song, so that should be pretty easy to figure out. So here, I'll just put together the first verse so you can kind of see how that's going to go, right? So first you're going to go from a D chord to a G chord. And then I only do this for the first verse. I'm going to pick one of the strings, okay? So let me play this for you. Oh no, there she goes, dressed up in daddy's clothes, quick while he's still away, walking into his shoes, zip up them denim blues and let yourself fade away. So as you saw with that, we start with our D chord, and then we go to our G chord at the end of the verse, and then only on the first verse I pick this last one while holding down the G chord, which kind of adds a little nice touch. And then you might have noticed in the second time I sang the verse, I moved to the A7, right? Slip into his shoes, zip up then dem blues. So you're gonna go right there to that. Okay, so for the first verses, I'm going to play it, I'm going to shout out the chord, and you can play along at home, okay? So we start with our D chord. G chord. Pick that last string. D chord. A7. G chord. Strum it. So then you sing the verse again with the other lyrics. It's the same as before. Walk to my old house, meet me by the door and wait there by the side. And I think I'm into you, A7, but what am I into, a girl or are you a guy? And then we're gonna do the last part, which is what leads us, this is kind of the chorus. I can't see us walking down the aisle, right? And this is where it changes up. This is where your G6 comes in. But I can't see us walking down the aisle, right? So you're going to go D chord, A chord, G chord, G6, D. And that's all within one verse, so that happens pretty quick compared to the rest of it where the changes don't happen that quickly. So I'll walk through it just shouting out the chords. D, A7, G,
G6,
D. And then you just keep going. And that brings us into the next verse, which is the same, right? How does it feel with someone else's eyes, and how does it feel with someone else's eyes? And then we go back to this chorus. I just can't wait, 'cause I don't feel the same. This is where it really changes. I am awaiting
G6.
I am ready, but I can't see us walking down the aisle. So now we're just gonna go back down what we know, right? So for the main verses, right? The main verses are D to G, D, A7, G, and then the variation on that is D, G, D, A7, G, G7,
G6,
which happens for the I just can't wait because I don't feel the same parts. For the chorus, it's a very much faster version of D, A7, G, G7, D. So the one part I've left out is the ooh, ooh, ooh part, which is kind of like the singing part that you put between verses. It kind of buffs out the song, especially if you're playing ukulele. You're not doing a huge amount of instrumentals, or at least I don't. So for that, I usually just play the regular verse things, but add the oohs on top of it, right? So you go, ooh, ooh, and then you go back into the next verse. So for an ending, you're going to want to bring the volume down and the excitement down a little bit, just like the original song. So here's how we're going to do that. So let's sing the very end of that. I can't see us walking down the aisle. And kind of quiet it down. Oh no, there she goes, dressed up in daddy's clothes, quick while he's still away. Walking into his shoes, zip up them denim blues and let yourself fade away. So yeah, that's how I end the song. It's a good parallel to the actual song by Saint Motel. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this tab was helpful to you. I'm sure you've got this. I believe in you. I hope my directions have been clear. This is my first time making a video like this, so if you have any feedback for me on that, I'd really appreciate it. Enjoy! Happy playing! I'll see you next time. But there probably won't be a next time because I've never made a video like this before. I'm not one of those pro ukulele people who know what they're doing all the time, but I'm making this tab anyways.